Imagine discovering a 2,200-year-old scroll hidden away for centuries, containing words so powerful they could rewrite what we know about Jesus. Could this ancient artifact prove that Jesus is truly divine? Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you will hear the evidence that has left scholars astounded and believers shaken. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Welcome to Ancient Faith Explorations. Today, we're diving into the mystery of a remarkable scroll, over 2,200 years old, that has captured the imagination of historians, theologians, and truth seekers worldwide. Found in the dusty ruins of an ancient settlement, this scroll is not just a relic. It might hold the key to answering one of humanity's most profound questions. Is Jesus truly God? But why does this scroll matter? Written long before the New Testament was compiled, its cryptic text has fueled debates among scholars and believers alike. Is it evidence of divine prophecy, a lost connection to ancient teachings, or perhaps something even more mysterious? Before we dive into the heated debates and groundbreaking translations, we want to hear from you. What's your first reaction to the idea that an ancient scroll could hold proof of Jesus' divinity? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned, because the most compelling evidence will be revealed in part 3 of this video. Ready to explore history, faith, and mystery like never before? Let's begin. Part 1. The debate around the scroll. Let's set the stage with a story that feels like it was ripped straight from the pages of an ancient mystery novel. Imagine this. A forgotten cave near the Dead Sea, untouched for centuries, holds a fragile scroll inscribed with words so cryptic they've puzzled scholars for decades. Written in an archaic script, the text alludes to a promised one who will bring salvation and eternal light. Does that sound eerily familiar to you? Scholars are fiercely divided. Some believe this promised one is an undeniable reference to Jesus, a prophecy penned centuries before his birth. Others argue it's purely symbolic, representing the broader messianic expectations of that time. But here's where things get truly intriguing. Certain phrases in the scroll align almost word for word with Jesus' teachings. Is this a mere coincidence, or are we witnessing a divine connection? Consider this. One passage describes the light that will shine through the darkness, a concept that echoes profoundly in the Gospel of John. Could this be evidence of a divine thread weaving ancient prophecy with Jesus' life and message? Or is it a reflection of shared cultural and religious ideals from an era yearning for hope and redemption? Let's pause for a moment and bring you into the conversation. What do you think? Could this scroll be the missing puzzle piece in the story of Jesus, a relic that ties ancient prophecy to divine truth? Or is it simply a fascinating artifact from a time when such ideas were widespread? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective might just unlock a new angle to this enigma. Now, let's delve even deeper. The debates surrounding this scroll are not only about its content, but also about its origin. Written in a language that was already ancient by the time of Jesus, the scroll's cryptic text has been painstakingly translated by some of the world's brightest minds. And yet, its true meaning remains elusive. Some argue that the promised one mentioned in the scroll predates Jesus, but aligns with him in ways that are too precise to ignore. Skeptics, however, suggest that such parallels might be coincidental or even shaped by early Christian interpretations of older texts. Yet, when you compare the scroll's descriptions of a Savior who would bring eternal light to the Gospel's portrayal of Jesus, the similarities are impossible to overlook. For instance, another passage in the scroll speaks of a Savior born of humble origins who will rule over all nations. Doesn't that sound strikingly similar to the Nativity story? Could this scroll be an ancient whisper of Jesus' divinity, or is it simply an example of the hopes and dreams shared by many ancient cultures? Here's something even more captivating: the physical properties of the scroll itself. Recent analysis of the ink and parchment reveal materials sourced from far-flung regions, suggesting it might have been part of a larger network of knowledge and spiritual ideas. Could this mean that the scroll's message was intended to transcend its time and place, pointing toward a greater truth? Let's step back and ponder this together. If this scroll is indeed a prophecy of Jesus, how could such knowledge exist centuries before his birth? Could it be divine foresight? Or does it reflect a deep-seated human yearning for salvation that transcends time? Share your theories in the comments and don't hold back. This is a mystery that thrives on diverse perspectives. Now, let's shift gears slightly. The scroll doesn't just challenge our understanding of prophecy. It also forces us to confront the nature of belief itself. If this ancient text truly foretells Jesus' life and mission, what does that mean for those who doubt? And if it doesn't, why does it align so closely with key elements of his story? These questions have sparked debates that are as emotional as they are intellectual. Before we move on, let me ask you this. How do you interpret the parallels between the scroll and Jesus' teachings? Are they too precise to be ignored? Or do you think there's another explanation? Let's discuss in the comments. Your insights could add a whole new dimension to this discussion. As we explore further, it's clear that this scroll is more than just an artifact. It's a mirror, reflecting our deepest questions about faith, history, and the divine. Whether you see it as proof of Jesus' divinity or an ancient enigma, one thing is certain. Its story is far from over, and the next chapter might just depend on your interpretation. Stay tuned, because in the next part, we'll dive into the evidence provided by scholars who have dedicated their lives to uncovering the scroll's secrets. You won't want to miss what they've uncovered. And remember, if this video has sparked your curiosity, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves unraveling ancient mysteries. Let's keep the conversation alive. Part 2. Scholarly Evidence and Insights. Now, let's uncover the fascinating scholarly evidence surrounding this ancient scroll. For decades, translators and historians have painstakingly worked to decipher its fragile and mysterious text. Advanced imaging technology has revealed phrases that seem to hint at knowledge beyond their time. One passage, in particular, stands out. A savior born of humble means who will rule all nations. If that doesn't sound like a direct allusion to Jesus Christ, then what does? But here's where it gets intriguing. Not everyone is convinced. Critics argue that such descriptions are not unique. They point out that these are generalized messianic themes, often found in Jewish texts from the Second Temple period. According to this viewpoint, the scroll reflects the collective hopes and fears of its era rather than a specific prophecy about Jesus. Still, there's more to the story. Recent archaeological findings have added layers of complexity to this already puzzling narrative. Chemical analysis of the scroll's ink revealed an astonishing detail. The ingredients came from distant lands, spanning regions far apart. What could this mean? Does it suggest a shared, divinely inspired vision among ancient communities? Or could it simply point to the existence of trade routes and cultural exchanges that carried ideas across borders? Here's another captivating detail: the scroll's structure and the way its text flows. Unlike other artifacts of its time, it exhibits an intentionality that's hard to ignore. Could it have been crafted with the express purpose of preserving a sacred message? Or is this a coincidence, a relic of an age that we still don't fully understand? Let's pause for a moment. What do you think? Are we looking at a divinely inspired artifact that predates and predicts the life of Jesus? Or could this scroll be a testament to the shared human desire for salvation, manifesting in various cultures and texts? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective could shed new light on this age-old enigma. Now, let's turn to the scholars who have dedicated their lives to studying this artifact. Some believe the parallels to Jesus are too precise to ignore. For example, the scroll references light shining in the darkness, a phrase uncannily similar to one found in the Gospel of John. Could this suggest that early Christian writers drew directly from this ancient source? Or does it hint at a divine thread weaving through time, connecting prophecy and fulfillment? Skeptics, however, urge caution. They argue that such parallels might be coincidental, or even a result of later interpretations imposed upon the text. According to this camp, The scroll's significance lies not in its prophetic accuracy, but in its reflection of the cultural and religious milieu of its time. Yet, the undeniable similarities continue to fuel debates that have captivated theologians, historians, and believers alike. Here's something else to consider. The scroll's references to geography and lineage. It mentions a land of promise and a bloodline of kings, both of which resonate with the narrative of Jesus. Is this evidence of divine foreknowledge? Or could it be that such themes were common in ancient writings, inspired by the collective longing for a savior figure? And then there's the question of its preservation. How did this scroll survive for over 2 millennia? Hidden away in a secluded cave, could its survival itself be a sign, a testament to its divine significance? Or is it simply an archaeological anomaly, a stroke of luck that preserved this piece of history? Let's engage for a moment. Do you believe this scroll holds secrets that could reshape our understanding of Jesus and his teachings? Or do you think it's a fascinating artifact that reflects the zeitgeist of an ancient world? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This is a conversation that thrives on diverse perspectives. As we delve deeper, the connections only grow more compelling. Scholars have identified linguistic patterns in the scroll that align with Hebrew prophecies. For instance, the repeated use of terms like light, salvation, and everlasting mirror key themes in Christian doctrine. Is this linguistic overlap a coincidence, or could it be evidence of a prophetic message encoded in ancient texts? Then there's the question of authorship. Who wrote this scroll, and for what purpose? Some experts believe it was penned by a sect of visionaries who sought to preserve their revelations for future generations. Others suggest it could have been created by early believers as a way to solidify their faith and spread their message. Could this scroll be a missing link between ancient prophecy and the birth of Christianity? Let's not forget the cultural impact of this discovery. Even today, this scroll continues to inspire debates and discussions around faith, history, and the divine. Its very existence challenges us to think about the nature of belief and the ways in which ancient texts can shape modern understanding. Before we wrap up, let me ask you this. If the scroll were definitively proven to be a prophecy about Jesus, how would that change your perspective on faith and history? And if it's not, does that make its parallels any less meaningful? Let's discuss in the comments. Your insights might just spark the next big idea in this ongoing exploration. As we prepare to move into the next part, remember that the most convincing evidence is still to come. This scroll is more than a relic. It's a mystery that invites us to question, to seek, and to discover. If this video has sparked your curiosity, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves unraveling ancient mysteries. The journey doesn't end here. In fact, it's only just beginning. Part 3. The most convincing evidence. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The revelation that might change everything. Hidden within the delicate folds of this ancient scroll is a passage so profound, so startling, that it has left scholars divided for decades. It reads, "He will rise on the 3rd day, defeating death, and his name will be remembered for eternity." Let that sink in for a moment. Does it sound familiar? This phrase mirrors one of the core tenets of Christianity, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But here's the plot twist. This scroll predates the New Testament by more than 2 centuries. So, how could such a specific and detailed prediction exist long before the events it seems to describe? 1. A prophecy or a precursor. Some scholars believe this passage is irrefutable evidence of divine prophecy, a celestial message foretelling the coming of Jesus Christ. They argue that this is not a coincidence, but a direct link between the ancient world and the divine. However, skeptics have their own interpretation. They suggest that early Christian writers, inspired by older texts like this one, incorporated these elements into their narrative of Jesus' life and resurrection. If true, this theory doesn't diminish the significance of the text, but instead opens up profound questions about the nature of inspiration and faith itself. Was this an act of divine foreknowledge, or a cultural and spiritual resonance that shaped the Christian story? 2. Evidence in the ink. Adding another layer of intrigue. Advanced carbon dating techniques have confirmed the authenticity of the scroll. Its age is beyond dispute, placing it firmly in an era when messianic prophecies were widespread, yet rarely so specific. Moreover, chemical analysis of the ink used on the scroll reveals rare elements sourced from distant lands. This discovery hints at a broader cultural exchange, a world connected in ways we're only beginning to understand. Could these findings point to a shared, divinely inspired vision that transcended borders and time? Or are they simply a testament to the complexity of ancient trade and intellectual exchange? As the evidence mounts, so too do the questions. 3. Unveiling the mystery. Let's circle back to the central phrase, "He will rise on the third day, defeating death." It's not just the words themselves, but the context surrounding them that deepens the mystery. The passage is embedded within a section describing a figure of immense spiritual power, destined to bring light and salvation to humanity. It's eerily reminiscent of the New Testament's portrayal of Jesus as the Savior. Yet, the skeptics' argument that this could reflect broader messianic expectations of the time cannot be dismissed outright. During the Second Temple period, the Jewish people yearned for deliverance, their hopes and fears giving rise to numerous prophecies and texts. Is this scroll simply another voice in that collective yearning, or does it stand apart as something truly extraordinary? 4. A global puzzle. The scroll's implications extend beyond its content. Its discovery in a remote cave near the Dead Sea, coupled with the exotic composition of its ink, suggests it was part of a larger network of knowledge and belief. This network likely spanned continents, weaving together threads of faith, trade, and philosophy. Was this scroll a solitary artifact, or one piece of a much larger puzzle? Imagine the possibilities. What if other scrolls like this exist, hidden in forgotten caves or buried beneath the sands of time? What might they reveal about the ancient world and its connection to modern faith? 5. Faith mystery in you. Now, let's turn the question over to you. Does this scroll represent the ultimate proof of divine prophecy, a testament to Jesus' divinity foretold centuries before his birth? Or is it an enigma, a tantalizing glimpse into a world of ancient beliefs and mysteries we may never fully understand? Your thoughts matter. Leave a comment below and share your perspective. Do you side with the scholars who see this as divine intervention, or do you lean toward the skeptics who view it as a cultural artifact of its time? Let's start a conversation, one that bridges the ancient past and our collective present. 6. The road ahead. Before we wrap up, remember this: the journey into history is never truly over. Each discovery, each fragment of evidence, brings us closer to understanding our origins and our faith. If this scroll has taught us anything, it's that the past still has secrets to reveal, secrets that challenge our beliefs and ignite our imagination. So, if you found this exploration as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Ancient Faith Explorations. Hit that notification bell to join us on future journeys into the mysteries of faith and history. And most importantly, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The conversation starts here, but it doesn't end with this video. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring the wonders of the past. As we've explored today, this 2,200-year-old scroll is more than just an artifact. It's a gateway to deeper questions about faith, history, and the divine. From the fiery debates among scholars to the tantalizing phrases etched into its fragile surface, this scroll challenges us to rethink what we know about Jesus and his role in history. Now, it's your turn. What do you believe? Is this scroll proof of Jesus' divinity, a prophetic masterpiece, or an enigmatic relic of the past? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient mysteries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Ancient Faith Explorations, and hit the notification bell. Together, we'll continue to explore the wonders of history and faith. See you in the next video.